In the meantime, let's go back to New York City. Want to get some updates on the case that is unfolding there regarding Sean Diddy Combs.
He doesn't kind of buy what the prosecution's selling. He thinks they've looked at the notes.
Yeah.
He thinks that they're cheating.
I mean, I would think that too.
But apparently what happened is commonplace.
Let's dive into one of the most jaw-dropping scandals shaking Hollywood right now. Imagine this: you're scrolling through social media and suddenly you see memes of Will Smith and Seen Diddy CS trending together. The memes are wild, the rumors are even wilder, and everyone is asking the same question: did Will Smith have anything to do with Diddy's infamous freak-off parties? The answer, at least according to Will, is a resounding no, but let's not take his word for it just yet. There's so much more to this story.
What prosecutors were arguing is not only does your client pose a flight risk, because obviously he's incredibly wealthy, has access to planes and a lot of staff, even though you said he turned over his passport to you months ago, they were also worried about him being able to interfere with witnesses and calling them.
Smith recently broke his silence during a concert in San Diego, and his response was as fiery as you might expect. He didn't just deny the accusations, he practically roasted the entire situation. He told the crowd, shutting down the memes that have been going around online, and he even joked, "I ain't been nowhere near no freak off, don't be putting me in other people's mess." Then came the punchline that had everyone laughing: "Why don't you even like baby oil?" The crowd loved it, but it probably wasn't enough to persuade the internet, as there's usually fire where there's smoke. We should go back in time. Why is Will Smith even being brought into this nest, for a moment? It all stems from Diddy and his now famous reputation for hosting expensive parties. These weren't your typical celebrities. Even though Diddy has always been renowned as the ultimate party king, recent accusations have given a far darker image of what transpired behind closed doors at these events. These were not gatherings with courteous small conversation. Rather, they were wild, anything-goes celebrations that allegedly encompassed all kinds of shady activities.
If they did in fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming and things of that nature.
Court documents and affidavits indicate that Diddy's so-called freak-offs were carefully organized productions. They weren't impromptu parties. Rather, they were events with staff schedules and, supposedly, a great deal of secrecy. The revelations have been so shocking that they have sent shockwaves through Hollywood, forcing anyone who has ever been spotted at one of Diddy's parties to go on the defensive. Former employees have claimed that teams were hired specifically to book venues, arrange travel, and even stock rooms with certain supplies. And we're not talking about balloons and party favors here. Will Smith and Diddy have been shown together numerous times over the years, which is not surprising given that they are both well-known celebrities who have been a long-standing component of the entertainment sector. But the internet has a way of unearthing old images and films, turning them into conspiracy theories, and going crazy with them. For those unaware, Diddy's white parties were legendary, star-studded affairs where all guests were required to wear white, and the guest list read like a who's who of Hollywood. However, despite their outward glamour, recent lawsuits indicate that these parties may have had a much darker undertone. One photo of Will at one of Diddy's white parties has surfaced, and people are now wondering just how much he knew about what was allegedly going on at these events.
Guys, we are lucky to have Precious Miura here, and she's been at the Diddy parties, and she's about to spill some secrets.
However, Will maintains that he was unaware of all of this and that his relationship with Diddy was entirely professional. He also claims that he has never been involved in anything even slightly dubious. It's interesting that Will waited to speak out until a MIM began to gain traction, which begs the question of whether he was attempting to avert the story or was he truly caught off guard by the rumors. This is made considerably more problematic by the fact that other celebrities' names have also been connected to DA gatherings. Ashton Kutcher, DiCaprio, Leonardo, Jay-Z, Kevin Hart, and others are being pulled into the fray. According to rumors, Ashton Kutcher in particular has come under scrutiny and has reportedly agreed to provide testimony at Diddy's impending trial, which has only increased conjecture regarding his potential knowledge. Ashton and Diddy have a long history together. They were frequently spotted together at events and even co-hosting parties. However, since Diddy's legal issues have come to light, Ashton appears to be making every effort to distance himself. According to sources close to the actor, he may even be thinking about leaving the country after the trial is finished. But what exactly does Ashton know, and why is he so keen to leave Dodge?
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
Jay-Z comes next. Alongside Diddy, the musician and business mogul is named in a civil action alleging that they engaged in some genuinely disturbing behavior. The very fact that Jay-Z's name is being brought up in relation to Diddy's legal issues raises suspicions, even if he has branded the accusations unfounded and dismissed the lawsuit as a blatant ploy to extract money. Diddy and Jay-Z have been close partners for decades, frequently attending high-profile events together and lending support to each other's business endeavors. If the accusations against Diddy are validated, Jay-Z may face difficulties even if he is innocent because association is a potent tool, particularly in the court of public opinion.
Period. Okay, so last hour when we left off, you had asked me, did Tony Busby respond to Jay-Z?
Yes.
And he did. So he responded 2 ways.
Not to be overlooked is Jada Pinkett Smith. The internet has been quick to draw connections between Jada and Diddy, speculating that she may have attended some of these well-known parties as well. Of course, there is no evidence to suggest that Jada was involved in anything, but that hasn't stopped the rumor mill from churning, and with everything Jada has already admitted to the entanglement with August her separation from Will since 2016, it's easy to see why people are jumping to conclusions. Will's wife has been at the center of her own controversies recently due to her tell-all interviews and bombshell revelations about her marriage. For instance, it becomes more complex. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, has made his own accusations, saying that while he was employed by the music mogul, he saw a variety of dubious activities. Although he hasn't mentioned names yet, Gene has even implied that other well-known celebrities frequently attended these parties. His remarks have fanned the flames, demonstrating that this isn't just about Diddy but rather a whole network of influential people who allegedly approved of or took part in these events.
Prior to him and Jada having a relationship, I felt Will was pretty much almost an angelic person.
It's also important to remember that Diddy's legal issues weren't sudden. Over the years, there have been whispers and even lawsuits accusing him of wrongdoing, but nothing has ever been proven. It seems like the walls are finally closing in on Diddy, who has always managed to keep up his image as a self-made billionaire with an exaggerated personality who could do no wrong. As more names are pulled into the scandal, the question becomes, who else knew what was going on and why didn't they speak up?
Okay, so basically I was a Playboy bunny. So a Playboy bunny representing New York State. The reason why I need to clarify this is when you're a Playboy bunny, you are part of the corporation and you are a bunny and you do have a title and you wear a uniform, but you don't get a month.
Will Smith's timing couldn't be worse. He has been working for the past year to repair his reputation following the notorious Oscar slap, and the last thing he needs is to be linked to another scandal. His public denial is obviously an effort to correct the record, but it's unclear if it will be sufficient. Diddy is currently sitting in a Brooklyn detention center awaiting trial. His legal team is working hard to get him released on bail, but so far, every attempt has been rejected. Prosecutors have described Diddy as a flight risk, citing the internet's long memory and the stigma that comes with having your name associated with something like this. Given the seriousness of the accusations, the potential for witness manipulation, and the fact that the trial is scheduled to start in May 2025, it is obvious that the Sega case is far from over.
Live, a judge has denied bail for Sean Diddy Combs. Of course, this was the hip-hop mogul's latest bid for freedom as he remains in federal jail for his racketeering and sex trafficking case.
While some celebrities are attempting to distance themselves, others are remaining silent, possibly in the hopes that the storm will pass, but in Hollywood, secrets have a way of coming out, and when they do, the consequences can be devastating. The fallout from the scandal is already huge, but it could get even bigger if more taped documents or testimonies come to light.
Don't you want your notes back?
Yeah.
If you've spent so many hours gathering evidence for your side or, strategy or whatever, for me, I'd be oh no, please don't destroy, please return.
One thing is certain, though, this story is far from over, and the truth, whatever it may be, will eventually come out. Let's take a moment to reflect on how this whole situation has spiraled into one of the most chaotic scandals Hollywood has seen in years. Will more celebrities come forward to clear their names, or will they remain silent and hope for the best? How will the scandal affect the careers of those involved, especially if the allegations are proven true? From the days of Bad Boy Records to his ventures in fashion and media, Diddy Communications has always been a brand associated with luxury power and influence. Diddy has established an empire that appeared untouchable, but now that a federal trial is imminent and accusations are mounting, his once glistening empire is collapsing, and he is not going down alone. The fallout is spreading like wildfire and attracting some of the biggest people in the business.
But I had to okay, I have to figure out my space in it.
The most fascinating aspect of this scandal isn't just the accusations made against Diddy, it's also the expanding list of celebrities who are unexpectedly in the spotlight, including Jay-Z and other former untouchables. Let's face it, the entertainment industry has always prospered on connections. Everyone knows someone, and nobody is above scrutiny. Ascends to the top without making many allies along the way, but what happens if those alliances backfire?
That's life. Everything is life. It happens for you. Everything is for your greatest good.
JJ's name has been in the news ever since he was named in a lawsuit with Diddy, alleging that he attended, if not actively participated in, one of Diddy's now famous events. Naturally, Jay-Z has denied everything, calling the charges baseless and an assault on his persona, but this is when things start to go south for years. As two sides of the same coin, Jay-Z and Diddy were seen as music moguls who combined their influence to create billion-dollar brands. They worked together on songs, went to each other's events, and even openly referred to each other as brothers. Diddy claimed that because of their tight relationship, Jay-Z was the only person save his own mother who could call him Sean, and now all of that the past is being brought up in the spotlight. What's amazing is how rapidly just a few months ago, Jay-Z was hailed for his contributions to music and business. He was a symbol of success and had seemingly risen above the fray. However, now that his name is associated with this lawsuit, people are beginning to wonder what actually happened behind the scenes. Is he just collateral damage and Diddy's downfall, or is there more to the story? If Jay-Z is mentioned, then Ashton Kutcher might be. It seems that no one can completely escape their past, even though this man has spent the previous few years reinventing himself as a software entrepreneur and philanthropist. Separating himself from his Hollywood heartthrob days, Ashton and Diddy have a long history together. They were frequently spotted apart in the early 2000s, and Ashton even went to some of Diddy's most exclusive events. Now, there are rumors that Ashton may have been at one of Diddy's more contentious events, and his meticulously manicured image is beginning to look shabby.
After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed, right?
Even more shocking is the rumor that Ashton might be getting ready to testify against Diddy in the impending trial. According to insiders, Ashton is extremely worried about getting sucked into this mess and is reportedly thinking about leaving the country once his involvement in the case is over. Honestly, who can blame him? The idea of being connected to something so explosive is enough to make anyone pack their bags. But the real question is what Ashton knows and why he is so eager to leave the spotlight while Ashton and Jay-Z are frantically trying to protect their reputations while other celebrities, like Leonardo DiCaprio, are remaining suspiciously quiet. Leo used to be a typical at Diddy's renowned white parties, and their friendship was well documented in tabloid stories and paparazzi pictures, but ever since legal issues started, Leo has been conspicuously absent from the conversation. According to sources close to the actor, he hasn't spoken to Diddy in years, but that hasn't stopped people from making assumptions because sometimes silence speaks louder than words.
We intend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations.
Even more intriguing is the abrupt change in tone from Hollywood's power player stars, who were formerly honored to be connected to Diddy, to those who are rapidly separating from him. Ellen Daya, who was once photographed at Diddy's events, has reportedly moved to England with her wife Portia Disi in what some are calling an effort to avoid being drawn into the scandal. Meanwhile, Kevin Hart, who has been connected to Diddy through mutual friends, has not yet made a public statement, but sources claim he is keeping a close eye on the situation. And let's not forget about the notorious white parties themselves. On the surface, these events were the stuff of legend, drawing FA a glamorous way for celebrities to party and flaunt their sense of style, but after hearing recent accusations, former guests have come forward to say that what transpired behind the velvet rope was anything but innocent. Some have even suggested that these parties were a front for something much darker, with stringent non-disclosure agreements making sure the truth never leaked.
You can be in love with someone, you can love someone and if you haven't experienced love and you don't understand it and you don't have the tools to move forward, then you're going to have complications.
One of the most unsettling aspects of the allegations is the alleged freak-offs that allegedly occurred at these events. According to court documents, these gatherings were intricately planned and allegedly involved a level of planning that's difficult to comprehend. Although Diddy is at the center of these claims, the fact that so many well-known people attended these events raises some uncomfortable questions. Did they know what was going on and, if so, why didn't they speak up? What's even more concerning is the evidence that has allegedly been found during raids on Diddy's properties. Authorities are said to have seized hours of footage, guest lists, and other documents that could provide insight into what actually occurred at these events. According to insiders, if this information is accurate, Hollywood may be facing a reckoning unlike anything we've ever seen. But doesn't just incriminate Diddy, but may also bring in a number of other well-known figures.
I'm surprised with the decision. I'm surprised that Judge Subramanian entertained it. He held a 2-hour hearing, which we were covering live, and he issued a 5-page written order. Most other judges, including the 2 previous judges, to consider this issue, summarily denied the bail motion. I think a lot of it stems from Judge Subramanian being a newer judge. This is a Biden appointee. He has a civil background.
And let's talk about how all of these legal issues coincide with the MEO investigation, which has already revealed some of the darkest secrets in the entertainment industry. However, even though I primarily focus on films and television, this scandal is reviving the music industry, which has long been a place of mystery and myth where fame and power can buy you nearly anything. However, it now appears that those days may be coming to an end as the trial draws near, as the stakes are too high. Others are prepared to come forward with what they know, and even though Diddy's legal team is doing everything they can to fight back, it's obvious that things are changing. The issue now is how far this will go. Will Diddy be the only one to suffer the consequences, or will others be brought down by this scandal?
This is video of Diddy's family arriving to court for last Friday's hearing. Prosecutors arguing that he misused prison systems in an attempt to tamper with potential witnesses. And they say they have proof Diddy used other inmates' phone cards or used 3-way calls with friends to contact associates that prosecutors consider to be a part of his criminal enterprise.
Hollywood has long been a place of rebirth where celebrities can recover from even the most damaging scandals. But this time around feels different because the accusations are so severe and the evidence is so damning that it's difficult to imagine anyone escaping this unscathed. And as more names are brought to light, the public's appetite for what do you think? Will Smith's denial be sufficient to clear his name, or is there more to the story than meets the eye? What about the other celebs caught in the crossfire? Are they just victims of circumstance, or is there something more going on? Please leave a comment below with your ideas, and don't forget to like. Additionally, sign up for more interesting information. Until the next time, this unfolding saga, continue to pay attention and maintain your curiosity.